Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's Thursday, and we are back to streaming using my new streaming schedule. As you know, I did publish out a new streaming schedule. Well, I'll be streaming Thursdays through Monday. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'll be off stream. But now is the first week of the new schedule. So, really glad to have you here. Really looking forward to spending another hour of us talking about data science and basically anything else that you guys want to do, right? I love the fact that we keep everything here kind of loose, we'll see what the day brings, we'll see what the conversation brings. We're really looking forward to spending more time with you. So, for those of you that are new, welcome. Still getting a lot of new viewers on all platforms. Feel free to introduce yourself. We always do what's called our global roll call. That's where we ask people to say, let us know where they're from. Let us know your city, state, province, country. Just a nice way for you to introduce yourself, carry yourself into the conversation, and just keep everything professional. And it's one of the reasons why I'd like to think that we have very little spam or very little problems in our chat. So we invite you to do that. Just let us know your city, state, province, country. Good way for you to participate. After that, sometimes I give an opening note. Or sometimes I don't, depends on if I have something to share or not. And then after that, I'm happy to take your questions, happy to see where the conversation leads us and kind of go from there. So all of my chats are up. So please start filling in my chat with your city, state, province, country, and then we'll see where the conversation leads. So one quick adjustment I want to make here, guys, is my camera seems to be a little low. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. I guess my camera just kind of got knocked around a little bit. You know, I've been meaning to do a behind the scenes for my setup here. I should do that sometime because I have different things in my setup here. I think it would be neat to show you guys sometime. I need to get my act together and work on that. All right. So as I said, you're welcome to introduce yourself, city, state, province, country. For an opening note today, I wanted to talk about some things that I have going on in the background. So I'm in the middle of a series right now, a daily series, where I am posting daily results, and I'm running an algorithm, an investing algorithm that was written by AI. Used AI to come up with an algorithm, and now I'm actually applying it. I'm actually using the algorithm with real cash, my own money, my own funds, and I'm investing with it. And I'm saying, hey, whatever the algorithm says, that's what I'm doing. So today is the 4th day of that algorithm. I am posting results on a daily basis, and then I'll post a weekly summary every Saturday once the trading week is over. And we'll see what we're coming from. Excuse me, we'll see where we end up. So far, I can tell you, small sample size, of course, 3 days. The algorithm has been correct directionally every time, so it hasn't had a losing day yet. So, maybe that's a sign that AI can help us with the algorithms. But really looking forward to see where that series ends up. You should see my daily updates via stories or reels, depending on which platform you're watching on. So that's the first thing. Second thing I have in the background is I'm preparing for the Consumer Electronics Show, CES, that's coming up in a month. I sent out some of my first promos or first wide promos this morning. So you should be able to see that coming up in the feeds. If you have questions for AI companies that are out there, let me know. Put them in the comments of those videos. Put them in the chat here if you want. Or if you want to ask questions about the show, we can talk about that during our streams. But for those of you who don't know, CES is the largest electronics, tech, AI, IT, whatever you want to call it, show in the entire world. It's every year at the beginning of the year. It's not open to the public. You have to be part of the industry in order to attend. I was able to secure a media pass to be able to attend. So I'm going to be going and I'm going to be sending you guys media reports from the show every single day. So you'll see that at the beginning of the year, but I'm preparing now because it's going to be a big effort for me. So I'm preparing now. I'm getting my promos out there, getting all this good stuff out there for you. So if you have questions about AI companies, let me know. Okay. All right, so I'm seeing people already filling up my chat. Thank you so much. Again, please let me know your city, state, province, country. Happy to help you. Doug on Instagram. Thanks for the chat. I think it's your first time. Let us know your city, state, province, country, and happy to help you there. Okay. In fact, let me put up that reminder in my Instagram because I haven't done that. So you guys on Instagram should be seeing that request now. And then I want to get to all the introductions. All right. So where am I? Osama, our good friend Osama says, hello, sir. Hope everything is going well. I'm doing well, Osama. How are you? How's everything in Satat? Hope that you're doing well out there. But I'm doing very well, thank you. I went on a nice long walk yesterday. Had a really good hike out there with my dog. Had a really good time yesterday. Rex, our good friend Rex says, hey, here from NYC. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Rex, good to see you. How are you, my friend? Hope you're doing well out there in what I'm assuming is a very cold New York City this morning. Denelson says, good morning, Dennis. I hope your week has been safe and going well. It's going very well. Dennis Denelson, our friend from LA. Yeah, week is going safe. Week is going well, you know. It's I'm getting used to the new streaming schedule. I'm sure some of you are too. But, you know, I think it's going to be a good week. Going to be a good week. So Abby Kumar says, hi, I'm Abhishek from India. I want to be a data scientist. Can you give summary what things I should really focus on or what will be my roadmap? Sure, Abhishek. Abhishek, by the way, you know, you really can't just say India. You got to tell us where. India is such a big country. I'm always surprised when people just say India. It's a big country. So for a roadmap for data science, in case some of you are listening that are new, I have an entire video on this on my YouTube. So you're welcome to check it out. It's called The Blueprint for Data Science. And it's a video that I made. It's one of my longest videos, one of my early videos, where I lay out how I would be studying data science if I was a student right now. So that would be the roadmap that I would recommend to you, because that is what I think is kind of like, well, what I basically did was I took everything that I studied and how I studied, and then I updated it for 2024. Right? How would I do it now? So go ahead and look at that. If you have any questions after that, come back to the chats and we can help you. But that's where I would start. I talk about the books, the degrees, the classes I would be pursuing. I even issue a coding challenge in there. But that's where I would start, Abhishek. So it's on my YouTube, Data Science with Dennis. Look for the Blueprint for Data Science or the Blueprint for Students in Data Science, and you should be good to go there. Diego, I think this is your first time here. Diego from Santiago, Chile. Nice, welcome, Diego. I'm glad you're here. Hope you're doing well. If there's any questions or anything we can help you with, please let me know. Once I finish the introductions, I'm happy to take people's questions and, see where the chat ends up. Rex says, oh yeah, it's getting cold. Oh, I'm sure, Rex, I'm sure. It's only going to get colder from here on in. But there's nothing better than a nice cold Christmas season in New York with all the lights and all the decorations. Last year I did something so touristy. Even when I was living there, I went ice skating at the Rockefeller ice skating rink. I had a really good time. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people, unfortunately, it does get a little crowded. But when you're skating there with the big Christmas trees and the lights and they got the Christmas music, man, that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. I wish I was back there. Only sometimes. New York can be terrible for a lot of things. Kartik on Instagram. Thanks so much. Kartik, let us know where you're from. We ask people to introduce themselves with their city, state, province, country. Okay? I really appreciate you being here. Vithan, same for you. I don't know what any of your emojis mean. So let us know where you're from, okay? Abis says, hi, I'm Abis from DC, USA. Nice, Abis. Abis, what part of DC? I used to live in DC. I lived in that area for 6 years or so. Okay, and okay, Kartik says hello. Okay, Kartik, for some reason your message got cut off. Okay, so I'm going to read this over from my Instagram. Kartik says, hello, I'm from Mumbai, currently studying IT in IT material science. No, studying in IIT material science and want to explore. Can you point what are the 3 words you would say to define data science? Oh, wow. That's a great question. What are 3 words you would say to define data science? Okay, you know what, guys? That's a great chat question. So Kartik, thank you so much for that question. Let's make that a chat question. Okay, guys. So here it is. 3 words maximum. 3 words maximum. That's the rules. Everyone knows the rules. 3 words that you would use to describe data science. That's an interesting challenge. I'll give mine because, just to kick us off, right? To be fair, I have to participate too. 3 words for data science. 3 words you would say to define data science. So I'm still thinking about the other 2, but the first one by far is creativity. You gotta be creative to be in data science, right? You have to be a creative person. Second, I would say is you have to be an architect. I'm choosing between architect or designer because remember, in the new world we live in, AI handles all your coding tasks for you, right? So don't be tempted to say coding because you don't need to do that anymore, right? Any code you can dream up of, you can come up with now, right? But you do have to be an architect to know what you're looking for. So I would say you have to be creative, you have to be an architect, and then the third word I would say for data science is communication. If you can't communicate your results, if you can't communicate what you're doing to the rest of your team, if you can't communicate to your junior data scientist, you'll never be a leader, right? You'll never be successful with the business side if you can't communicate your results, right? So yeah, those are the 3 that I would say. Communication, architect, and creativity, right? Yeah, that's what I would say are my 3 words for data science. So let me know what you guys think. So our new friend Kartik has said that he wants to know the 3 words for data science. So let me know. And to be specific, it's Kartik from Mumbai, India. Yeah, Kartik, I keep on seeing your chats on Instagram. For some reason, they don't come up on my other system. Okay, there it is, Kartik. Okay. All right, let me continue with the introductions. So Sarvesh says, hi, Dennis. Good morning to you. Hey, Sarvesh. Good to see you, my friend. How are you? Hope you're doing well out there. Casual Economist, another person we haven't seen in a bit. Good morning, Dennis. Hey, how are you? Casual Economist, hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you in a little while. Glad to see that you're back. Yassine says, hello, sir. It's Yassine from Tangier, Morocco. Nice, Yassine. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope your studies are going well. Let us know how you're doing out there, Yassine. Okay, so Asen in Instagram, let us know where you're from, okay? Let us know your city, state, province, country. Anybody who's joining us late, please let us know your city, state, province, country. So Denelson, answering our question of the day. So question of the day, guys, is what are the 3 words you use to describe data science? Denelson says experimental, influential, and fun. Nice, nice. I love the experimental side, Denelson, because it is experiments, right? It just so happens we use data for our experiments. But I love the use of experimental. Influential? Yeah, absolutely. It's a new world. It's a new world, right? and fun. Yeah, it's very fun, right? You have to have a love for it to be fun, right? To some people, it's not so fun after a while, right? Everyone has fun, thinks data science is fun until it's time to do data science, right? But yeah, if you love it, if you dedicate yourself to it, it can definitely be a lot of fun. Casual Economist says, wait, what's your last one, Casual Economist? Is that BSing? Like, did you literally mean BSing or do you mean something else? So Casual Economist, for the 3 words that describe data science, says analytical. Yep. Stats. Okay, I like that. I like the use of stats because all the results in data science are stats, right? Like, what's a confusion matrix? A confusion matrix is a collection of stats, right? Neural networks are giving you probabilities. That's also a form of stats, right? Casual Economist, let me know what you mean by BSing. That's funny. Let me know what you mean by BSing. Like, I wonder. Casual Economist says, I gotta bring the ruckus to the chat. That's funny. Okay, I can appreciate that. BSing. I think you're going to get a lot of it back from your stakeholders. I've heard a lot of BS when I try to present results to stakeholders sometimes. Yeah. You know, here's a thing that I've spoken about previously, but always bears repeating. Do not fall into the trap of thinking that when you walk into your job, you know, your new data scientist job, that everyone's going to love you. Everyone embraces algorithms. Yeah, data scientists are here. Woohoo. Right? Do not fall into that trap. I guarantee you will have to engage in hand-to-hand combat with a lot of people along the way when you present results that don't always go against their beliefs, which is to say their biases, right? That happens. So I've heard a lot of BS coming from that side, right? The people will give you all kinds of reasons why you're wrong, why the algorithm can't be that way, right? You got to be prepared for that. That happens. It happens a lot. So Casual Economist, all that to say, I don't think you're far off the mark there with the BSing, right? When I say, you know, the hand-to-hand combat, there's a lot of BSing in that too, right? So I hear you on that. I think you might be onto something there with BS being part of the three best words to describe data science. So again, guys, if you want to participate, 3 words to describe data science. So Kartik says, thank you. That may be the best answer I have got. Well, Kartik, don't leave yet. We got the chat giving you answers. But yes, Kartik, I am saying that it's creativity, architecture/design of programs, of solutions, and communication. I think those 3 are critical. All right, so our new friend Abbas says, I live in Northeast DC, Dakota Crossing. Sorry for the delayed reply. No need to apologize, Abbas. You know, we're all friends here. You know, I do my best to try to keep up with the chats. But yeah, Northeast DC, beautiful part of the city, beautiful part of the country. I went to school in Northwest DC, and then I lived in the Alexandria area for a while, for 6 years. But yeah, DC's a beautiful part of the country. Too expensive though. Okay, so Osama, continuing with our question of 3 words to describe data science. Osama says mindset, methodology, and AI tools. Oh, I like that. I like that. Osama, I think that's a great answer, right? You got to have a good mindset. You got to follow a methodology, and AI tools. Absolutely. Osama, you might have given the best answer yet, because I think it's really important for all of us to embrace the AI tools, the new way of working as a data scientist. So Osama, I like that. I like that. Nice one. Let me jump ahead here to some introductions. Leo, how are you? Good morning, everyone. Hey, Leo, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. So Leo, the current question in the chat is, how would you describe data science in 3 words? That's being asked by our new friend over on Instagram, Kartik from Mumbai. 3 words to describe data science. So Leo, think about that. Let us know what you think. So Sarvesh contributing to our 3 words is, for me, it's curiosity, creativity, and communication. Nice. Nice. But Sarvesh, I'm going to challenge you there a little bit. Some people might tell you that curiosity and creativity kind of go hand in hand, right? Like, can you be creative if you're not a curious person? Probably not, right? You'd have a very hard time with it. So I like the 3 words, but I would just keep curiosity and give yourself an opportunity to pick a 4th word, you know? But creativity is also an important one, obviously. But yeah, I'm on board with that. I just think that you have an opportunity to have a 4th word there if you were to combine curiosity and creativity. But I'm with you on that. Yassine, let me jump ahead here to keep with our theme. Yassine says solution, tools, and value. Ooh, nice one. Yassine, you're taking a very like stakeholder perspective to your answer. I like that. Yeah, coming up with solution, definitely key. I mean, that's kind of your job, right? You're the data scientist. The tools you're going to use, yep, that's always a changing landscape, right? Even if you're using AI, there's always new libraries coming out to solve things that you will then utilize AI to use, right? So that's part of the skill. And value, yeah. Your algorithms have to mean something, right? Like they have to result in something. So yeah, I love your inclusion of value in there, Yassine. Saeed on YouTube. Saeed, let us know where you're from. We always ask people to introduce themselves. Let us know your city, state, province, country, all that good stuff. Okay. Karthi on Instagram. Same request, please. Let us know your city, state, province, country. We do that to help practice people, you know, keeping a professional attitude, introducing yourself and all that. So let us know. Okay. Okay. So Diego, our friend from Chile, says, how would you describe the day-to-day of a data scientist? What is it like to work in a company and work in a team? Depends on the company, depends on the team, depends on your role within the team. So Diego, if you want to kind of help narrow down exactly what you mean by that, we could maybe, you know, I can help guide you further. But it all depends on the company, depends on the team. Personally, I really like, you know, the leadership aspects of data science. So I love leading teams. So, you know, with that perspective, a lot of my day was spent mentoring people and looking at, you know, kind of reviewing code with people or talking about new solutions or talking to the higher ups about resources I needed or trying to chase down servers that are available, things like that, right? But I personally like the mentoring aspects, the teaching aspects, the coaching of my younger data scientists, you know, or less experienced data scientists, I should say. Some of the hiring aspects were fun also. But yeah, I mean, that was my day, right? But again, I'm saying that from a leader perspective, right? I mean, I had quite a few people reporting to me. So those are the aspects that I enjoyed. Those are the aspects that took up my day. But if you're like a junior data scientist, you're going to get a whole different answer, right? So it just depends. Over on Kick, I think is it Makuda or Makoda? Welcome back. Good to see you. Good to see you on Kick. We're getting more people on Kick, so glad to see that. Hope you're well. I remember that you're from Morocco. I can't remember what part, but let me know. Let us know how you're doing, Makuda. Okay, so Saeed says they are from Al Hoceima, Morocco. Okay, nice. Thank you, Saeed. I know it's your first time, so welcome. Thank you for joining us. So Saeed, for the 3 words to describe data science, says insights, automation, optimization. Okay, nice. I like the automation. Because a lot of data science is exactly automation. And for those of you that haven't seen that here or haven't understood fully what's meant by automation, understand that automation and data science goes beyond like scheduling, right? Because when you hear automation, people think like scheduling, like cron jobs or scheduled tasks, things like that, right? But the automation in data science comes from a lot of machine learning algorithms, particularly categorization algorithms, right? Because you've essentially trained an algorithm to do the things that a human does already. Why would you do that? Well, because you can automate it, you can schedule it, but you also want to do that to take the human judgment out of it, right? The advantage of automation with data science is that you're going to get consistent answers from day to day, from instance to instance, right? You're not always going to get that with a group of humans, right? The judgment and biases can throw people off, right? So yeah, Saeed, I love the mention of automation. Definitely very key. So appreciate you tossing that in. So Leo, continuing with our theme, says, from the perspective of data science as a field, I'd say exploratory, multidisciplinary, and data-driven. Okay, very nice, Leo. I like all of those. You know what, Leo? And you are the first one to suggest all of those. I mean, I think you're taking a very unique view on those. Data science, definitely exploratory, right? I mean, it's supposed to be exploratory, right? If you're not exploring, then are you going to find anything new? Right? Multidisciplinary? Yep, absolutely. You know, most data scientists tend to have a variety of skills that they bring to the job. So I hear you on that. And data-driven. Yep, I love that. That's what we're after, right? We're after data-driven decisions. That's kind of like what data science is, right? And sometimes you see it in companies where they have like these decision management teams or decision management divisions in some cases, right? But it's really all the same, right? You're just looking to make data-driven decisions. So yeah, Leo, I love your I love the three words there. So for those of you that are joining late, let us know. The question for the chat right now is, what are the 3 words that you would use to describe data science? Our new friend over on Instagram was asking that. I believe it was Kartik. I think it was Kartik that asked us over on Instagram. Yeah, Kartik. So let us know, what do you think are the 3 words to describe data science? Okay. So Manny over on YouTube says, hi Dennis, Manny's here from the DC area. Nice, Manny, welcome. I think it's your first time. So welcome. Anything we can help you with, let us know. Or if you want to answer the question, how do you describe data science in 3 words? Let us know. Put it in the comments. Michael, our good friend Michael from Nigeria is here. Hello, Sir Dennis and everyone. How are you, Michael? Hope you're doing well. So Michael, if you'd like to participate, the current question in the chat is, what are the 3 words to describe data science? So Makuta says, I am good, sir. I'm from Saleh. Okay, cool. That's right. Thank you so much, Makuta. So glad to see you back. Thank you for keeping the Kick stream going over there with people joining in on Kick. You know, I have I'm nearing 100 followers on Kick, but the engagement there is just so low during the chats. I think it's because I just stream too early. I think Kick is much more of a nighttime platform. Okay, so Anthony, continuing with our theme, says metrics, intelligence, and decision. Help me understand what you mean by intelligence, Anthony, but I'm on board with the 3 words, right? Metrics, intelligence, and decision. I just want to understand a little more about what you mean by intelligence. But yeah, metrics are very important, right? How are you making decisions unless you have metrics to base it on, right? Or how are you making data-driven decisions? I should say, I should be more specific, right? But yeah, I'm on board with that. Metrics, intelligence, and decision. You guys are giving some great answers. Great answers. Okay, so Karthi over on Instagram says that they are from India, Tamil Nadu, India. Okay, cool, Karthi, welcome. Karthi, I want to say it's your first time, but maybe not. So Karthi asks, how do you deal with people opposing the results of algorithms based on their biases? Karthi, there's no single answer to this because it depends on what the bias is, what the business issue you're trying to solve is. Are we talking about a small issue, a big issue? It's really hard to say. It's really hard to say, what an appropriate reply is. It's going to differ. What's more important is you, as the data scientist, having the communication skills to be able to appropriately reply to, the person giving you that pushback, that feedback of their biases, right? That's not something that comes easy. That's something you're going to have to develop over time. You're also going to want to tailor it to different people that you're talking to, right? Who is your audience that you're presenting against the biases, right? So really it's more about, if that worries you, right? If you say, hey, I want to go into data science leadership and I want to have those skills for that hand-to-hand combat, then work on your emotional intelligence and communicating with emotional intelligence, because that's what's going to carry you in those variety of conversations you're going to have, right? Because it's just too broad to answer. Because right now I'm thinking through all those times when I've sat in those meetings with those biases. Sometimes you're doing it in person. Sometimes you're doing it on the phone. Sometimes you're doing it via email. All of those methods are different methods, and then the people had different reasons why they were expressing their biases, and then the solutions were different, right? Are you trying to solve a big money problem, a small money problem, right? So it's really more about developing the skills that you're going to need in all of those situations than it is to just say, well, here, let me just tell you about one instance, right? That's not nearly as valuable. So that's what I would encourage you to think about. I would encourage you to think about, how can I develop the communication skills that I will need to, for the lack of a better word, kind of defend your team's work, right? Because that's ultimately what you're talking about, right? You're talking about your team's work. So Karthi, that's the best answer I can give you, because there is no single one answer for that, okay? So Leo says, I didn't even know there's a streaming platform called Kick. Yeah, Leo, perhaps not a very popular platform. And my understanding is that it's taken over a lot by streamers who do like online gambling and things like that, and like online casinos. I hear it's very popular for that, and I think that's unfortunate. But yeah, Leo, it's out there. I have 100 followers on there, have no idea who they are. I don't do any sort of special work for there. I don't even think my profile is filled out, to be honest with you. I push out the stream and people watch. But yeah, I mean, I wish I could get more engagement on there, but maybe it's just not the right crowd for data science. So Michael is continuing our theme with the 3 words for data science: automation, data-driven, and statistical predictions. I like that. I like that a lot. A couple of you have hit upon automation, and I really like that you guys are hitting upon that. Super important in data science. Definitely not one of the better understood or better applauded benefits of data science, right? Everybody thinks about, like, generative AI and how sexy LLMs are and things like that. But automation data science saves companies a lot of money and time. So definitely don't underestimate the automation side of it. Continuing our conversation about both Kick and the 3 words, our friend from Morocco says, for someone who is outside the data science field, I would say statistics, system design, and data consumption. Okay. I like those. I'd like to know what you mean a little more by data consumption, because I think that can be that can be a lot of things, right? I'm assuming you mean you're taking like a big data view, right? Where you can take in tons of data. If that's the case, I agree with that. But let me know what you mean by data consumption, right? Anthony says, without good intelligence, we cannot make the proper data-driven decision. I mean, we cannot know what a proper data-driven decision should look like. Well, but you're defining why you would want intelligence, but you're not defining what intelligence is in your statements. Like, are you talking about the human side of it? Are you talking about algorithmic driven intelligence, like Gen AI intelligence, or just AI in general? Help me understand that, Anthony. And I'm curious about that because you caught my eye with we can't know what a proper data-driven decision should look like. So let me know. Give me some more information before I give you some feedback there. Leo says, I really feel like living underground now. You mean because you didn't know Kick? No, Leo, you're a smart guy. There's no need to feel that way. Like I said, to me, Kick, like when I think of Kick, I think of a gambling platform or a gambling streaming platform. That seems to be like their biggest audience of both streamers and consumers, right? So I personally am not on board with that. It seems like, I don't know, maybe it's not like the best influence out there. But I mean, I have 100 followers on them with essentially zero effort. So there's at least some data science interest out there, which is good, right? Anthony says, all of it would be taken into consideration. With AI, it can rank which metrics we need to look at. Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, if you want to use that definition of intelligence, okay, cool. Okay, so Saeed, I'm sorry I skipped over your question because I wanted to keep the theme of the 3 words. But our new friend from Morocco says, in 5 years, how will the role of data science evolve? Yeah, great question, Saeed. And I've been doing a lot of content on this. Heavily aided by AI, right? If we fast forward 5 years and we're having this live stream, we would be talking about fundamentally different approaches than what we're talking about now, right? Because like for example, in 5 years, we'll have data scientists here or, in the field, in the world that haven't written their own code in years, right? Like you could be a data scientist that says, yeah, I haven't written any code in 3 years. Like I could see that, right? Like that's going to happen. There's going to be a lot more tools available. Like I don't mean just like LLMs, like new LLMs. I mean like there will be data science specific tools available, right? Just like we use, like a business person might use Excel or Word or PowerPoint, there will be like a dedicated suite of tools for data scientists. So I think that 5 years, what else would happen in 5 years? I know this may not be a popular one to say, but I think that there also could be fewer data scientists than there are now, right? And I don't mean that just as a result of AI. I mean that some people will lose interest, right? Some people will not want to they won't like the changes in the field, right? They won't like the speed at which they're asked to work because we're going to be working at a much faster speed with AI tools. So there could just be fewer data scientists in the field. I kind of see that, right? What else would I see in 5 years? Let me think about it some more. But if anybody else wants to give some suggestions there, I think that's a good start for 5 years. But I'm sure there's more. There's obviously a lot more. I would just need time to think about it. You know, and the reason I say that too is because, Saeed, I think that the Gen AI tools are going to move so quickly that I tend to think more in 2-3 years. To me, 5 years, it's like astounding the progress that the LLMs will make, right? So maybe that's just why I haven't thought about it so much in that long, you know? But if anybody else has thoughts on that, you know, let me know in the chat. So Makuta, to clarify, says, I mean consume big data collected and organized in databases to extract from its data. We need to use as input in algorithms to have endpoints as results, outputs. Yeah, Makuta, I agree with that. I definitely think that there are going to be, or that's one of the benefits, right? One of the benefits is that you can consume so much more data than any one human can, right? So coming back to the question of the hand-to-hand combat, battling people's biases, that's one of the basic arguments you can make. That's like a level 1 argument you could make. And you can tell somebody, well, look, the reason why we have a lot of confidence in this algorithm, why we think that it's going to be different than how you may have operated in the past, is because the algorithm has taken in 20,000 points of data. 20,000 points of data, and we consumed a couple million records. There is no human that can do that, right? Anything you're telling me is based on your own observations, your own conclusions, but you've done it with this much data, whereas the algorithm has done it with this much data, right? So yeah, Makuta, you're on the right track in thinking that the big data aspect is one of the uniqueness or unique points of data science, where you can say, we've consumed so much more data that has been previously possible by even traditional programming methods or by humans, that we know that we're converging on a better answer, because, you know, more data, more better, right? At least for some problem. So yeah, Makuta, if that's what you mean, I think you're on the right track there. The data consumption is definitely part of the benefits of data science. Okay, wow, guys, this is a first. We have 2 members in our chat. So if you see Anthony's statements, or if you see Ash's statements, you might see a special icon next to their names. That's because they are members of the channel. I appreciate that they're members on YouTube. So thank you to both of you for being here. Thank you for being contributors. You know, it's a way for you to show support for my work and for the stream. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate both of you being here. So Ash says, some universities in South Africa are still very anti-AI, especially when it comes to research. You know what's funny about that, Ash, is you are the second person to tell me that. I don't want to give any details, but I recently did have a coaching call with a client who told me that they were running across the same thing. A lot of, you know, very significant anti-AI sentiment. And I find that to be super surprising. Be very careful of aligning yourself with people, institutions, companies, whatever, that are anti-AI. Because to me, when I hear that, I hear somebody who's, you know, lining up to not be in business for much longer, right? They're lining up to lose their industry, academic, whatever you want to call it, position. Because the tools are coming whether you want them to or not. Your competitors are going to use them whether you like them or not, right? And even if they make mistakes, the speed is still there, right? So yeah, there are a lot of people out there, you know, companies, individuals, institutions that have an anti-AI sentiment. So be very careful with that, guys. Be very careful, you know, keep an eye out, you know, keep an ear and an eye out for that. For people that, you know, tell you that they don't believe in it, they're going to be slow to adopt it, they're going to take a wait and see approach. Danger, danger. Danger, danger. So Denelson says, What suggestions would you give when there is no reliable API to retrieve data from projects? I am unable to get any anonymized patient data, or am I looking at the collection wrong? You can get patient data, by the way, Denelson. It's very protected data, but there are sources out there for it. I can't remember what the name what the name is called, but I looked into this one time, and there are databases of patient data, but you have to apply to get access. It's free, right? It doesn't cost anything, but you do have to show that you have a legitimate research purpose for requesting the data. So it is out there. Sometimes, you might just have to buy it, right? Because when people tell me I can't find the data, what they really say is I can't find the free data. But the data is out there, guys. All data that you want is out there. It's just not always free, right? So if you take that mindset where you could buy the data, then that's fine. You might just have to develop your own API or your own, kind of like ETL type of processes to get it to a working state, right? But the data is out there, right? It's out there. It's just not always free. Saeed says, as montage tools. HH. Sorry, Saeed, I don't know what you're referring to there. I know that we were talking about, dedicated tools for data science within 5 years, but help me understand what you mean by that, right? So Anthony says, with AI, it doesn't need to show us the metrics it sees. It can just perform. Sure, depending on the scenario, right? Not everything in data science needs to be explained, but there are definitely cases where explainability is important. So I'm not sure if you have a particular use case in mind, Anthony, but there are reasons why you would want explainability. So Leo says, I have a strong belief that for us that are already doing data science, in 5 years, we're going to be better. For those starting in 5 years, they will rely more on Gen AI. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Are we going to be better? I think we're going to be better as long as we keep on doing data science. Because I'd like to hear how you define better, Leo. But when I hear better, I think I hear more creative. Because remember, if we're agreeing that we're not going to be writing code, LLMs will take care of the code, then that's not a skill anymore, right? Right now, you can still differentiate data scientists by their skill in programming, right? Kind of, sort of, right? That's not a good way to measure them, by the way. I give very little coding questions in my exams, in my interviews, I should say. But so if we're going to level that playing field, then how are you as an individual data scientist going to stand out? How are you going to be better, right? So to me, that's creativity, Leo, and communication, right? If you can't communicate, then who cares how good of a data scientist you are, right? So that's another differentiator. So I'm wondering if that's what you meant, Leo, or what do you mean by better? I'd love to know that. So Leo says, for the future people in 5 years, it will limit the ability to solve problems from different perspectives. The amount of knowledge we need to deploy a model today is huge. There comes the multidisciplinary skill, especially tech related. I wonder how they're going to do in the future, or I'm just wrong. No, I think you're on the right track, Leo. But again, I just think of it more as what's the differentiating skill? How do you pick data scientist A from data scientist B, right? So to me, that's going to be the differentiating skill. To be able to say, I'm better than that other person because I'm more creative, because I come up with creative solutions relating to your business, to your costs, to your competitors, to your industry, whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the way I'm looking at it. But let me know, Leo. Rex says Mo data, Mo data, Mo better. I'm stealing that. Okay, you can steal it, but I get a 5% royalty on that, Rex. Sarvesh says, I think Microsoft Fabric is a step in the direction of having a suite of tools for data professionals all in one platform. Okay, cool. Thanks for that, Sarvesh. I'm not familiar with Microsoft Fabric. I used to use the Microsoft Cloud a lot more when it first came out, like, oh my gosh, like 2008, 2007, something like that. But I've kind of fallen out of practice with it. Maybe I should explore it more, but thank you for that. Rex says 2 to 3 years. Oh my God, I got to study harder. Yeah, absolutely, Rex. The future's coming. It's coming fast. Sticking with the same theme, Ash says, understanding the fundamentals will make you more creative in the future. The fundamentals of what, Ash? Because I think it's tempting to say the fundamentals of data science. And I'm assuming that's what you meant. But I would say that the fundamentals of business will make you more creative with data science. But let me know what you think. Let me go ahead and clarify what you meant there by the fundamentals. So Anthony says, data-driven decisions is what all the AI tools we choose to use need to do. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's right. Being able to export the explainability will matter. It absolutely will matter. It will absolutely matter. Leo says, what is the reason for this anti-AI view? What are they claiming? Yeah, so if anybody wants to share their experience with that, if you heard an anti-AI view, go ahead and share your experience in the comments, or why you think people would take an anti-AI view. Maybe you haven't heard it, but if you want to kind of put out your hypothesis on why people would be anti-AI, let me know in the chat. Leo, I don't want to share my particular situation because I would give away too much about my client and the situation they were telling me about. But the anti-AI view definitely exists out there, folks. Definitely exists. Jay Moo says, howdy, glad to have caught your live. Jay, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Jay, we always ask people to introduce themselves. Let us know your city, state, province, country. It's a good way to participate and keep the chat professional. Okay. Karthi says, will people that have more business-oriented knowledge be preferred for data science more than just fresh data scientists, since most code will be taken care of Gen AI in 5 years? Yes, absolutely, Karthi. I 100% share that view with you. Because again, coming back to who is a better data scientist, it will be the people that are creative. You can't be creative unless you have business knowledge, right? You have to be able to come in and say, hey, I understand your business. I understand your industry. I know a little bit about what your competitors are doing. Here's the opportunities that I see for you. And by the way, those opportunities can be solved by data science, right? Like the data science part of it is just kind of like the implementation side. But to understand what somebody needs, how you can best help, why they should hire you, why they should work with you, whatever. It's all about business talk, not data science talk. And on top of that, you can also create some like pretty crazy solutions, right? Pretty involved solutions because why? Because there is no code that you can't write anymore, right? Like all code is accessible to you, right? So yeah, I'm on board with that, Karthi. I appreciate your perspective there. But yeah, I think that business knowledge, that creativity, that communication, that's what's gonna separate you from everybody else, right? So Jay says, pleasure to be here from Austin, Texas. Nice, welcome, Jay. Are you at the university there? Obviously there's a lot more to Austin than the university, but let me know if you're a student there. Jay says, got my Python, OOP, and SQL cert. Great. Halfway through data scientist cert on Code Academy. Great. Wonderful, Jay. Glad to have you here. Anything we can help you with, just let us know. But Python, OOP, and SQL sounds like a pretty good jumping off point. Okay, so Leo, coming back to the question of how he's defining better, says better in terms of knowing exactly what to do or what to ask and faster on trying different models and quick changes. Yeah, okay, I like that, Leo. Yeah, you're right about that, right? Knowing when a model is showing promise versus not, or how to pivot on different changing needs, changing data, changing whatever. Yeah, definitely a way to differentiate yourself and be better than other data scientists. I hear you on that. So I like that, Leo. Thanks for that. So Saeed, who originally asked the question about the 5 years, I have described the role of data science in 5 years as similar to today's montage tools, utilizing AI-driven solutions with no-code automation to simplify and streamline tasks. Yeah, I'm on board with that, sure. But you know what? That's going to happen in less than 5 years, though, right? You could argue that, you can't argue that's happening now, but I would say I'd be surprised if what you described didn't happen in 2 years. In 5 years, we should be further along than that. I'll be highly disappointed if we're not further along than that in 5 years. Okay, so Ash, talking about the fundamentals, says fundamentals of how information is processed by. In the future, people will be experts in writing prompts, not necessarily experts on how code is processed. Excuse me if I sound a bit ignorant. I'm still very new to this, transitioning from chemical engineer. Hey, it's totally okay if you're new, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I appreciate that you're still putting your views out there, right? It's a healthy part of the process. In the future, people will be experts in writing prompts, not necessarily experts on how code is processed. Will people be experts in writing prompts in the future? I don't know. What is an expert? What does an expert at prompts look like? I don't know, Ash. What does it, if you guys want to contribute to that, I'm asking this rhetorically, right? Like, what does an expert in prompts look like? Because I think it goes beyond prompts. I think it's healthy to understand context, like the literal context within LLMs, right? Context tends to be important. I think it's important to understand how LLMs view their data and how they generate new data. But does that make me a better prompter? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Either way, like I said, Ash, I appreciate your perspective. Nothing wrong with being new. You're learning, you're dedicating yourself to this. So that's a good thing. So Denelson says, thank you for the response. In your book, is there any topic you would have wanted to dive deeper into? What mindset should someone have to reduce their own personal bias for models? Okay, so that's 2 questions, Denelson. Topics I would have wanted to dive deeper into? Sure. Methodology and leadership. I'm still thinking about writing a book on data science leadership. I think that could be an interesting book. I just don't have the time. But you could have a whole book on methodology. You could have a whole book on leadership. So I touch on both of those in my book, Your First Year in Data Science, if you want to buy it on Amazon. But yeah, I mean, those are their own books. I made them little sections and chapters, but they could be their own books easily. Like, I have the book in my head. I just don't have the time to write it out. What mindset should someone have to reduce their own personal bias for models? The mindset is that I know nothing. That's the mindset. I know nothing. I know nothing, but the data knows something. So I'm going to let the data speak to me. I talk about that constantly with my executive clients, right? Let the data speak to you. What does the data tell you? Not what you think the data tells you. Not what you think the data should be, or what's worked for you in the past, or whatever. So that's the attitude, Denelson. And the best ways I try to express that is if I know that you attend my Sunday class, Denelson, but for the others, if you attend on Sundays, you hear me say that. Like, if somebody makes a suggestion, my immediate response is, let's try it out. Like, who knows? Who knows what the answer is? Let's try it out. Right? So that should be the view, right? To always have that mindset of, I don't know what's happened in the past. I don't care what's happened in the past. I care what the data tells me. And I don't know what the data tells me unless I try it, unless I run that experiment, unless I try the different hyperparameters, unless I try the different models, right? That's the attitude that I think is important. You got to try things. You got to try things, and then you got to look at the results and say, oh, wow, that worked, or that didn't go so well, right? I think having that is pretty valuable. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I would say. So let me know, Denelson. Let me know if that brought up more questions or whatnot. Jay, thank you so much. So if you guys see how Jay is, this message is now italicized, that's because that's announcing that Jay just bought a new membership on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Jay. Really appreciate you and your support. So now we have 3 members in the chat. That's never happened before, so that's wonderful. But again, guys, if you do join on become a member on YouTube, it does help me out, does support the channel. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate you. Yassine says, I agree. How would we evaluate the effectiveness of prompts? I think the only way the result, but that's only available after execution time. Yep. And having a good result only reflects that one specific prompt, not the prompter in general. So Yassine, I'm generally on board with what you just said. But I don't think it's one specific prompt. You can use multiple prompts to get to the same answer, right? Like, there is no single prompt. Like when we're working on an LLM, like you attend Sundays also, so I know you know this. But when we're working on an LLM and all that, we're not necessarily looking for like to unlock a prompt, right? Like what's the secret unlock prompt that we need, right? Like, that's not a thing. There's multiple ways to get to the same answer, right? So here's what I'm thinking. If you guys attended our Sunday courses, particularly really all of them, there's been a lot of scenarios where we will say, hey, we want to work with this model or with this theory. What is the library that you have available to do that? Right? ChatGPT will give you an answer for that. It'll say, I know this framework, and this framework to solve your problem, right? Like, you can literally start with 0 and just say, hey, I want to write a clustering algorithm. What do you know about clustering algorithms? And ChatGPT will tell you, right? So I think that the skill there, Yassine, is being able to say, okay, I kind of sort of know this framework. This framework, isn't allowed by my company, or my client doesn't use this framework because of policy. Oh, okay, the third one sounds good. Let me go with that. And then you pursue that, right? But that doesn't make you like a better prompter. It just means that that's what you use. So somebody else could come up with code from prompts using a different library, but that's just because that's what they chose, right? So yeah, I don't know. Yassine adds, what I meant is a good result means that one prompt is a good one for a specific problem, but not that this prompt style will work for other problems. Yeah, but Yassine, even for the same problem, you could still have multiple prompts that work, right? Even for the same problem, the same data, the same LLM, you can have multiple prompts that are both good and they still work. They might come up with slightly different variations of code, but so would two humans, right? Two people on the same team can come up with different code, right? Like, you know, I've led some teams where there's some people who write amazingly beautiful code, and there's other people whose code is kind of messy, but they both still got a good answer, right? So I don't know. I think that I think that you can have multiple prompts to have the same answer. Like there is no one prompt to rule them all, right? No matter the problem. Seeing some additional chats over on Instagram. So on Instagram, I'm seeing Anaya. Hey, Ananya. Hi, I'm Ananya from India. Welcome, Ananya. Let us know what part of India you're from. And if there's anything we can help you with, any questions you want to put in the chat, please feel free to do so. But thank you for introducing yourself. I think it's your first time here. So let us know if we can help you with something, okay? Let me see if I missed any chats. Okay, I think I got all the chats on my side. So again, thank you so much to the 3 members that we have in the chat. Again, it does help support the channel, support my continued content creation on here. So thank you so much for that. If you'd like to do the same, the buttons are available on your YouTube interface. Really great questions today, guys. I love the contributions and the different participation from all of you. Thank you so much for that. I hope that it's given us something to think about, right? Because 5 years, to me, sounds like a long time in LLMs. A lot of things can happen. So who knows where we'll be in 5 years. But really appreciate everyone's perspective. And I really like that you guys are thinking about this, right? Because it shows that you're ahead of the curve. It shows that you're prepared. Keep that up, right? Because that's going to help in the future. All those people with the anti-AI sentiment are just falling further and further behind. The more that you push forward and you develop your skills, you embrace AI, you embrace the changes ahead. So keep that going, guys. So again, thank you all so much for the conversation. My streaming schedule is Thursdays to Monday, Sundays being our series, our tutorial series. This Sunday, it's going to be a good one. We're going to be talking about deployment to a server. So really looking forward to that. Okay. As always, there's a lot of craziness happening in the world. So please take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I'll see you next time.